everybody back from the summer. I guess I'll call the meeting to order. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest? None? Okay. We'll move it to the June 15, 2022 minutes were circulated. I need a mover for them. Sylvia, mover, and seconder, Jeff. That the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee minutes of June 15, 2022 are hereby approved as presented. All in favor? Yep. Okay. Okay, we'll move forward to presentations. We have here, let's welcome Lorraine Jeffrey from Community Program and, well, she's the Community Program and Coordinator. And Heather, Heather's here? Oh, she's not here, okay. Sorry, Heather Klein, the Executive Director from South Georgian Bay Community Health Center, will be providing us an overview of their programs and services. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, great, you can hear me. So I'm Heather Klein-Gebink. I'm the Executive Director at the South Georgian Bay Community Health Center. We are located in Wasaga Beach, however, we cover off all of South Georgian Bay. Lauren Jeffrey is our Community Outreach Coordinator and unfortunately has come down ill, and so was hoping to be here to do the presentation. However, you have me as the kickoff, so you would have preferred to have Lauren. She's way better at this. So we do have a PowerPoint slide. So the South Georgian Bay Community Health Center is a fairly young organization. We have been around in this community for about 12 years now. We are a nonprofit, community governed. We do have a community volunteer board of directors that oversee the organization. We are a charitable nonprofit organization, and we focus on the health and well-being of those that reside in our community. We predominantly focus our programs and services on the very vulnerable people within our community. And so we tend to have three areas of focus in our programs and services that we offer. So we offer primary healthcare services. We offer free community and programs to the entire community where anybody is eligible and able to attend. And we do a lot of advocacy work around community development. So there's a geographical map of our catchment area. So we service Wasaga Beach, Clearview, Collingwood, a small portion of Elmville, and the Blue Mountains. So we do have a strategic plan. Our strategic plan, our board, with the support of our community partners, our community, the people that we serve, underwent a significant review of the programs and services and priorities for the Community Health Center about a year and a half ago. And this is our new strategic plan, which is a 3-year strategic plan. Because of all of the changes with the pandemic and with Ontario health teams and just the potential changing landscape, it was decided to go with a 3-year strategic plan, and it would be reviewed again. We do have 3 priority areas of our strategic plan, really focused around advancing our community and the work of connecting with our community so that our community and residents in our communities know more about the CHC, who we are, and the work that we do. Advancing the culture internally, so with our staff, our clients, and our volunteers. And then advancing our system, and this is really around the collaborative work with all of our community partners in our area, so it goes well beyond healthcare services. So in regards to the first area of healthcare services, so part of our business is offering primary care services. So we have physicians and nurse practitioners, and we run just like a family doctor's office. The priority group of people or patients or clients that we focused supporting on is the vulnerable people in our community. We support primary care services to people with complex health needs, significant amounts of mental health, low income, at risk of not being housed. We support a lot of homeless families and people in our community, lack of affordable housing, low income. And so we have approximately 2,000 rostered patients, if you want to use that language, that we provide really intense primary care services for. Then we also have our programs and services that are offered anywhere free in our community. So we tend to develop programs and services for the community that are really geared around those marginalized groups. So we run food programs in our low-income housing units. We do a lot of community outreach work, work with our shelters and our tent encampment areas. We provide a lot of, courses on food security or programs around finances and budgeting. Whatever the needs are of our community, we will develop that program and implement that for our community. So if there's programs that you think would be very valuable in the community that people would we would be happy to hear that. And it's Lauren, who is our community program coordinator, that would love to hear people's input and what the needs of our communities are. We're not in the business to step on toes and get into recreational programs or duplicate the Y or recreation programs. We don't want to, duplicate what's available or around in our community, and we heavily work with our community partners when we're developing programs. We offer a lot of programs at the Y. We've been working lately with our hospice around grief programs. So we tend to really work closely with our community partners to use space across the community. We have great partnerships with our local libraries around space and needs of the communities. We do put out a program guide each season, if you want to call it that, spring, fall, winter, summer. Our programs do run year-round, and the program guides are available on our website, and you'll often see them floating around in the community. Lauren was going to bring some today, but they got left in the office just because of her being ill today, so we'll try to make sure that we get some here. But they are on our website if you want to take a look at any of them. The third component that we work on is the advocacy work in our community. So we do a lot of community development. We sit on a lot of committees, whether it's local committees, county committees, provincial committees, and national committees. We advocate for food security, affordable housing, opioids and addictions, and really are the voice for our vulnerable people that don't have the opportunity to have their voices heard. That is our role. So from a community lens, we want to bring awareness to as many people in our community about who we are and what we do and what is our role in the community. We are always looking for our community to advocate and support us in our advocacy efforts for our marginalized people in our communities. We are always looking for volunteers who would be willing to lead a program in the community. So if you have an area of expertise that you think could be valuable, we would work with you around the development of a program and then have a volunteer-led program where you would have the support with one of our staff to make sure that the program, whether you need materials or there's costs associated with it, that we would work with you on that. So we're always looking for volunteers. And then because we are a nonprofit organization, we have a lot of families that primarily need support around food security, transportation, prescription medications. As I said, our 2,000 plus rostered people can sometimes struggle financially with being able to meet their healthcare needs. And so from donations that we receive, we use the funds to be able to support either the one-on-one for people that require some additional support or to expand our programs in our community. We are thrilled to share that years ago we were approved from the Ministry of Health to step into a capital project. So the South Georgian Bay Community Health Centre is moving through the capital processes to build a new building in Wasaga Beach. The location is set to be towards the west end, around our current location, which is in the medical building across from the Superstore on 45th and Ramblewood. That's where we're currently located, and our goal would be to build this 2-story, 16,000 plus square feet medical facility in and around that area of Wasaga Beach. We have community partners that will be in the space with us, so we have approximately 30 staff that are part of the CHC, and then we are expanding and bringing in community partners that are aligned strategically with the work that we do with vulnerable communities. So we will be having spaces for CMHA, which is Community Mental Health. We have the RVH, the Youth Eating Disorders Program. We have the RAM program, which is the Rapid Access to Addiction Mental Health, which is through RVH as well. So we have 2 of their staff members that have drop-in programs for people that are going through withdrawals and looking for some support around their addiction process. We have Waypoint Center for Mental Health with their community outreach staff that will be coming in. Currently, they're not in our community, so this would be an expansion opportunity to have these resources new coming to our community. They will be part of this. And then there's, our local diabetes program. We will have some community programming space with a demonstration kitchen that we would like to offer for the community if there's needs for running additional programs and services, and really hoping that this building and this facility can be used very well to support our community. It's meant to be a community building, so hopefully there's opportunity for some good use with this space. The goal would be that we're hoping to be breaking ground in a year-ish, and so probably 2.5 years from now is when it will be open and available to be used well. Very exciting. So that gives, a high-level overview of the South Georgian Bay Community Health Centre, and I'm happy to take any questions that anybody may have.
Well, thank you, Heather, for the overview. These programs and services you offer are so much needed in our communities. Thank you very much. I'll open it to the rest of the members for any questions.
Hello, my name's Deborah. My question is that the current health center on Ramblewood has a waiting list of 600 people. Do you intend to have new doctors at the new healthcare center?
So we are funded by the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care, which funding flows through the old LHIN. It's now through Ontario Health that we have the contract with. Unfortunately, we are full to capacity with the resources that we have. At this point, there has not been any new approvals from the ministry to expand primary care services. So at this point, we have no ability to further grow our primary care access. If in the future the ministry at the provincial level decides that they would like to expand primary comprehensive care and put new resources from physicians or nurse practitioners into the sector, we would be thrilled to be able to expand. We will have capacity in the new building to expand. We have a wait list, as you say, of over 600 vulnerable people that do not have access to primary care in this area, and I'm sure the list is much bigger than that. But at this point, there is no new funding to be able to expand from the provincial level. Part of the reason why our focus really has been and will continue to be in the near future with expanding our community programs, because that's where we do have some capacity to grow and, you know, try to offer some programs at that community level where people may be able to get some sort of support and relief. But that's where we're at right now.
Right now, people are having to leave the community to go into Barrie or other centers like Newmarket to see specialists. Will there be any specialists at this new facility?
So in the form of specialties, if you could be more specific maybe?
For example, respirology, nephrology, cardiology.
So if there was an opportunity where there was like if we had a nephrologist that wanted to come to the area and wanted to, you know, come one day a week and do some outreach, we would certainly be able to have those conversations to provide some office space to look to have those specialties in our community. That has never come to our attention, or it has not come to us for that request. For space utilization. Right now in the current space, we are tripping over each other. We don't have enough space to be able to provide for other community services. In the new building, that may change. We do offer OTN services, which people in the community may not know about. So in the province of Ontario, they have a virtual system called OTN, which stands for Ontario Telehealth Network. It is kind of like Zoom on a healthcare encrypted platform. Every healthcare organization that is funded in the province of Ontario has these systems in their organizations. And so most specialists across the province also has that technology in their office. So Wasaga Beach is one of the only The South Georgian Bay Community Health Centre is one of the only locations in Wasaga Beach who has that technology in place, and it is available to anybody in the community. So if somebody wants to have a follow-up appointment with a nephrologist in Newmarket, and that appointment is able to be done through the use of the technology, we are more than happy. We have a coordinator for our OTN system. That nurse coordinator can work with the nephrologist to set up that appointment time and have that connection done. And you could come to the community health center and have that appointment done and have that nurse support you from our end to save people commuting. So that is open and available to anybody.
At a former subcommittee meeting, I learned that of the 25,000 people in Wasaga, there are only 17 medical doctors. Is that about par for the rest of the GTA, or is that below?
So in the province of Ontario, the last statistics that I saw, that 92% of Ontarians were connected with a primary care provider. In South Georgian Bay, our connection rate is 95%, which is one of the highest in the province of Ontario, if not the highest. So Northern Ontario is much lower, and so Wasaga Beach might be 17,000 out of 25. That's obviously much lower than 92% of what the province is. But I think, you know, if that is statistically, I haven't seen the statistics via sub-regions or communities. I've received the information more at a higher level from a sub-regional level. But it is something that is definitely an area of advocacy for the community to have a real look at, if that is the case.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Vic?
Yeah. Hi, Heather. My name's Vic.
Hi,
And my question is, I live in a community of approximately 150 residents that are age-friendly people, seniors. And my question is, do you have a soft copy of all your services that maybe you could send to Angela, and she could send it out to us, and we can broadcast it, at least in my case, to all the people in, because I'm sure a lot of the people in my community are probably not even aware of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Somebody else want to?
If Heather, I know when you post the program guide, I always try to look for it and share it through my deputy mayor Facebook page. But maybe a couple of hard copies or whatever could come in and be shared with Vic.
Happy to do that. And also on our website, if you would like to receive the program guide or any of our newsletters, we do have a fan out distribution list that you can register to receive the ongoing communication. So happy to either have you go on to the website and register, or I'm happy to have your email added. If you want to leave that with me, I'll get Lauren to add it so that when the program guides come out, you can get a copy of it that way.
What I was thinking is have one soft copy. And then, like either Angela or direct to all of us, I don't know. And then I would broadcast it out to my 150 residents that probably are not even aware of this program.
Got you. Yes, I'd be happy to drop off some copies of them, no problem.
Thank you, Vic. Candy?
I was just wondering, Heather, would Lauren be able to do a presentation? I know she did a presentation in the Rotarians. There's a lot of small communities, especially of seniors, like Park Place and stuff like that, that could probably use a presentation to say, here's who we are, and here's where we are, and what we're all about.
That is a fantastic idea. So if anybody has any contacts at those smaller community organizations, we would be thrilled to come out and have Lauren come out and do presentations. So if any of you are connected with small community groups, as you say, you know, if you want to pull something together or there's a meeting at that community level, we would be honored to attend those. So please feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Heather. And again, this program is, and services that you offer is very, very needed in our communities and across Simcoe County. If there's anything that we could advocate or provide support as a group or even as a task force with other towns or Simcoe, let us know, and we could probably work on a group that could get together to voice a lot of this and support you to get the funding you need. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, let's move. I need a mover. Vic, mover. Seconder, Candy. That the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee receive for information the presentation from South Georgian Bay Community Health Center for information. All in favor? Okay. There is no unfinished business. We'll move on. And no submitted reports, so we'll, thank you, Heather.
Thanks. Thank you. I've got to start planning vaccine clinics. They're coming. Can I in this meeting? Did you make an announcement about what you're...
Come back and put your microphone on.
Sorry, there's always so much in my head that I sometimes forget things. Hey, Tara, good to see you. Anyways. So with the recent announcements, I'm just kind of putting a plug in around vaccinations. So the Moderna Bivalent vaccine is now available for anybody that's looking for their booster shot. The Moderna Bivalent vaccine is different than the Moderna vaccine that you would have gotten your first and second primary shot. It's been tweaked a bit, and that's why they call it the bivalent one. The virus that it's really geared around is more the Omicron 3 and 4, or 3 and 4. So it's now available. The Pfizer vaccine has not been approved yet at Health Canada. It is expected that it should be approved before the next few weeks, and then it should be available as well for anybody in Ontario over the age of 18 looking for that booster. We also have the flu shots that will be coming available after the 18th of October. Is that a Wednesday? I have to look at my calendar.
Tuesday, the 18th of October.
Yes. So the 12th. So Wednesday the 12th. So the Wednesday after Thanksgiving is when primary care can start to pick up their vaccine doses. It will come out in low amount of volumes first in the first couple of weeks. So it may not be as readily available, but then it should be beyond that. The Community Health Center we have set vaccine clinic days for our CHC registered patients per se, and so we've got those clinics set up. And then we will also be doing outreach this year, so we are working in partnership with all the E3 group homes, where we will be going out into the group homes and doing all of their vaccinations for them, as well as working with the town of Wasaga Beach and some of our municipalities to make sure that our essential workers and our fire department and things are receiving their vaccines as well. So please know that these vaccines are becoming very available in the very near future. Please, make sure that you're reaching out to your primary care provider, pharmacies, any available community clinics to book an appointment. So just a plug.
The GoVax bus was here on the weekend, and I got mine. But how do you find out? Because they said they had programs and they were reaching out to the community. I saw nothing.
So public health, I won't speak on behalf of public health, but I do know that their resources are being spread very thin because it's expected that public health is getting back into the schools to get the childhood vaccines caught up. And so their resources are not as dedicated to the vaccination as it was originally, because everybody got redeployed and it was solely focused on the vaccination. Well, now a lot of their staff have been deployed back to their original roles and trying to get caught up in other areas. So there's not as much resources available to have, what we had in the beginning where you could book the appointment and go through the drive-through to get your vaccine. That's not going to be available at this point now. So you're really focused on looking at your primary care provider. If you do not have one in the area, the pharmacies have really expanded their capacity to be able to be available in the community. So that's really your focus area. The GoVax bus will continue to float around, and that will be on the health unit's website around when they're available. But those are your three main options for what's available here.
How long should one wait after having COVID to get a booster?
So the NACI guidelines are 3 months. So you need to have a 3-month wait after you've had COVID before you really should be eligible to receive a booster.
Heather, if someone's got the third shot, the booster shot, how does that because you talked about 3 and 4, right? Is that right?
So it's the Omicron strain 3 and 4, not the boosters.
Okay, so I got the booster, so it's a total different shot?
Yes, so have you had 1, 2, and 3 from the
Yeah.
original series? Okay, so the Moderna or Pfizer that you would have had at that
The
time,
Pfizer.
okay, it will be slightly changed for the next dose that you get. It's not the exact same formula that you would have had before. They've made some tweaks to it to help protect from the newer strains of the Omicron variant.
Statistics showed that more people died in 2021 of COVID than in 2020. I feel that our current provincial government is sweeping COVID under the mat, and do you feel that the government intends to have herd immunity? And if they lose a few people in the process, then it's not a big deal, because only recently the statistics are up, COVID cases are up. People are dying every month in this province from COVID. 85 just 2 weeks ago, 85. in Ontario?
Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot answer that. I'm not in a position to answer that. I'm not at that provincial level tables to really have a good, to be able to speak on that, honestly. What I can only speak on what we're experiencing here locally. We've had a phenomenal uptake. Our community should be very, very proud of itself. Wasaga Beach, Collingwood, the South Georgian Bay, Clearview, like our surrounding area have had phenomenal uptake. I think it speaks to a lot of the senior population, to be quite honest, and the availability in that first couple of year, or like the first, year of the first couple of shots. The coordinated effort in this region was phenomenal, and the uptake, we were like the highest in the province with our uptake of vaccine. We have been very fortunate that in this area we have seen spread. We have not seen spread like there is in other communities, and we have not seen the level of illness in this sub-region that we have seen in other outbreak areas. So I think, thankfully, our local communities have really stepped up to the plate and have really protected our community well. I think going forward, it is something that's not going away. We will have to live with this, similar to the flu and how we protect each other every year. Healthy young people, it's like having a cold, it's like having the flu, and I'm not saying that, I'm not demoralizing it at all. But I'm saying we really have to protect the vulnerable people that won't fare well through the illness, whether it's seniors, our immunocompromised, our sick people are the ones that we really have to protect. So herd immunity is great, but herd immunity, we should have a high level of herd immunity through vaccination. We have a high proportion of vaccination, which is great. And so you can get herd immunity by either vaccination or by having in contact with the virus. And with our high level of vaccination rates in our communities, and for those that have it, we have a high proportion of herd immunity now in our communities. So we've done a good job, and we just continue to do that and make informed decisions and make good judgment calls. And yeah.
One of my concerns, just for me personally, but for other seniors, because let's face it, 50% of the population of Wasaga are seniors, and many of them have health issues. I have partially collapsed lungs from a virus that I got in BC. I believe it was COVID. From the severity, I was in the hospital for over a week. I have other issues like 50% kidney function, my heart, everything. Those are all COVID. So right now, recently, I was out at various stores, and very sick people were in those stores with no masks on. So is there anything that we can do as a subcommittee, or can we encourage, how could we encourage stores to just have a sign in the window saying, if you're sick, please wear a mask? Because unfortunately, right now, people, they're just thinking, oh, there's no disease there, there's no sickness. But, on top of COVID, there's also colds, flus. Colds can lead to pneumonia in seniors. I had to be really careful, so I don't go to any store without my N95 mask on. But it infuriates me when people are there coughing and sneezing and having bronchial symptoms. So is there anything that we can do?
Very good questions, team members. And Heather, you've provided a huge amount, and your programs are good. And again, I said the services and programs you manage is very much needed in our communities, and it needs to be awareness. If there's anything that our locals or our committees can help to support to continue your excellent services and programs, let us be aware of it. And thank you for all the questions. Any other questions? Okay, we can move forward. Thank you again, Heather. Okay, so let's now move forward to the chairs and coordinators updates. I will mention a few of the chairs points, and then I'll pass it over to Angela. Fiona has summarized, has attached a report for information only, summarizing the activities and progress of this committee. Lots of accomplishments, lots of actions and implementations and changes. Well done, committee members. And I say special thanks to Fiona Reiner, our chair, for her dedicated commitment, leadership, and support and knowledge and awareness and time input in this committee and community on behalf of the HFA committee members. Good report. So, in the next point, I want to, you all got circulated the public appointment application form. Was circulated. That's for senior members only, the volunteers. You will need to complete that form and reapply for the next term. Angela has extra copies if anybody needs them. And again, it's for senior members, volunteers only. And the other point I want to mention is Irene Bell from Health Community Network has resigned from the committee. And on behalf of the HFND committee members, we wish Irene all the best. And thank you for your dedication, input, committee commitment, support to the committee and community. I understand there's no replacement announced. And I'm done with my comments. I'll move it forward to Angela. Any questions? Nope. Okay, Angela.
Thank you, Marina. Just a few things from me. Quite a big agenda, so I'll try to keep this brief. Just wanted to point out, just to make you aware, the town has rebranded, so the old logo for the town shouldn't be appearing on any of our things, so I know we've updated our PowerPoint, but just to be aware of that. There was a rec guide ad that went out that included a plug for the Senior of the Year nominations, so it was a quarter page on page 25, and also a save the date for the next Expo. So just to get an early word out there to encourage some more applications for the Senior of the Year award that will be opening for nominations in November. So hopefully that helps encourage some applications there. Let's see, what else? I sent out a notification of Livable Communities Workshop. It was a 2-day one, so it's going on right now as we're meeting. But day 2, there is happening tomorrow as well. So there were some interesting connections there to our action plan and the living, affordable housing, co-housing topics. So it might be of interest if you're able to attend that. Yes?
What I was going to ask is, could we get I guess it's probably recorded, because it sounds like there's some really interesting stuff in that.
Yes,
if
I
we
do
could get it,
believe,
we could
I
use it.
read that it would be recorded but available, I think up to 3 weeks. I think it said on their website, so I'll watch for that to happen. Sometimes they send actual links to recordings, but I'm interested in that as well. So if I acquire access, I'll share that with you all. Yeah, that one was that. The Chamber Awards, I know I sent you an email out to let you know that the committee is honored to be nominated for 2 awards for the Chamber this year, our first time being awarded. So that was for the Service Club Not-for-Profit, and I'll read you the qualifications for that. The award is given to a business that's been open a minimum of 12 months, has made a positive difference in Wasaga Beach, either through volunteering or financial support to activities which enrich, protect, or entertain the citizens of Wasaga Beach. And the second award was the Diversity and Inclusion Award, recognizing a business or organization that demonstrates leadership skills, innovation efforts, and commitment to increase equality, diversity, and inclusion in the workplace to its employees, customer service, or in the community. This award is intended to recognize effective and sustained efforts. However, special acts or one-time achievements may be considered. Considerations are not limited to business facility enhancement, consideration of surroundings, accessibility of design, or more. So, so that was nice to hear that news. So the award ceremonies are tomorrow evening. So I'll update you. I will be attending on the chair's behalf to represent the committee as the staff support to this committee. The age-friendly business project is still underway. We have in draft all 7 modules that we have been busy working on. So we're in the process of tweaking them further, kind of further editing as they go into the next phase of the project to put it online to make it accessible for the business community and organizations to use and assess their business places. So work in progress, still continuing, lots of work, but proceeding well. And I think, let's see what else I have. And then just the, as an attachment, there was a staff report. So the clerk's department called upon the staff supports to the advisory committees to refer to their terms of reference and take the opportunity to update them and make sure that the committees were functioning to take care of their business properly and put in suggestions for any changes that could help. So a staff report has been composed, and that will go to the coordinated committee at the October meeting. So that was attached with some summary of the points that have been updated, the mandate and purpose, the responsibilities and tasks, and just an update to the membership for the County of Simcoe and South Georgian Bay Community Health Center to be called upon at the committee's request rather than required to be a sitting member at the table. They had already been reduced to non-voting status in this term. So we'll update the terms of reference accordingly, but still with their willingness, call upon them or other organizations that you feel would assist your business. They could be called upon at request. And then some housekeeping just regards to the terms of sorry, our agenda business, the numbering was incorrect in the document. Any questions about that? Jeff?
Jeff?
I was just going to say that it might be good if you could get some pictures of the award presentation, that we might be able to update the slideshow or the
Absolutely.
brochure, whatever.
Yep. I believe there's going to be a photographer there taking pictures of the awards ceremony and the what happens. So good suggestion. Thank you.
Any other questions?
That's all.
You're done?
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we have a mover? Jeff, mover, and seconder? Barb? Deborah, sorry. Long summer, I know. Ugh, sorry about that. That the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee receive the Age-Friendly Committee Chair Coordinator reports of September 21st, 2022 for information. All in favor? Carried. Carried. Thank you. We'll now move forward to roundtable and working group updates. Any updates from, wait, no, Jeff, we'll wait, Jeff, we'll wait for your presentation.
Okay. The first thing that's on the agenda is the survey that we took at the Expo. Thanks to Deborah for making that survey up. We provided the, I guess the results of it. Personally, I didn't see very much that we weren't really expecting, other than some of the comments that were made. I think will be very useful for next year for the age-friendly committee when they're dealing with the expo, when they're dealing with age-friendly programs and things like that. I'm not going to go through it. I'm assuming everybody already looked at it and saw the results. But like I said, we all knew that 90% of the people that were going to be there were going to be over 55, things like that. So it just kind of proved the point. Candy?
Can we just make sure that we don't ask them if they're male or female next year? Because a lot of people got really insulted
Yes.
when you asked them if they were male, female, or other.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else on the survey? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. The next part of, I guess, that's part of the agenda is the Expo Report. I'm just going to try and run through this as quickly as possible. Overall, it was a very successful event. I'm very, very proud to be part of the Expo. A huge thank you goes out to all the AFC members who volunteered for the event. Your help made the event run perfectly. Special thanks always to Fiona, Deb, and Ron for their wonderful work. And of course, if you don't mind me calling you my sidekick, Angela was there. We were conversing 2 or 3 times a day, almost every day for 6 months. So I really thank them for their extra work on the Expo. We had over 550 guests with over 70 exhibitors. Through all the exhibitors and friends of the town, we were able to get over 60 door prizes. Just phenomenal prizes. I was so thrilled. I really want to thank Ron for taking on the donations and the work that he did, and Deborah did on getting donations, and of course Ron, and I'm going to say myself, for delivering all those 60 prizes. That was a lot of work, and I think, Ron, it took about 3 weeks for you to get rid of all yours. So it wasn't an easy job, that's for sure. We did ask the exhibitors, what they thought of the Expo, what we could do to improve, and they did make some suggestions that, I did up a post-mortem document. It's about a 40-page document that I did on the Expo that will be able to be passed over to next year's Expo person, which has literally everything in it, from the permits, how you do this, how you do that, and of course these suggestions are in there as well. The biggest complaint from our guests at the Expo was the parking. It's something that we just need to, I guess, get our exhibitors to move all their cars, somewhere else, and that type of a thing. But that was the biggest complaint. I really need to point out that UPS did a great favor for this committee by offering us 50% off of all printing. We spent the same amount of dollars on our printing as the previous expos did, but we got so much more printed because we were able to get these great prices. So I really think that we should really try looking for better ways, cheaper ways of making this expo happen. We had a $3,000 budget approved by this committee. We have a surplus of approximately $1,800. I think it's $850 or something like that. I am suggesting that we actually spend that money before it's gone and purchase Expo loot bags for the coming year, instead of just letting it go back to wherever it goes. Although the Expo was a lot of time and energy, it was also a very rewarding experience for me. I've never organized anything like this before, and with the help of my new friends, we made this a great event, and I congratulate the Age Friendly Committee. Any questions? No?
I don't have a question. I just like to say, Ron, or Jeff, you just did a fantastic job.
Thank you. And the next thing on the agenda that I seem to be taking up a lot of time now is the PowerPoint presentation. As you may recall, we had a committee, a subcommittee, or not a committee, but a group that redid the brochure. You know, I think it went very well. We got them printed, we handed them out at the expo, and they're there, and we really made it look quite new. Oh, that one? Okay, watch me mess up now. The next task that we had was looking at the PowerPoint presentation, and we wanted to modernize it and make it more appealing to our audiences. We streamlined the presentation from 21 slides down to 14 slides in order to make it a little more concise and manageable for those that are presenting. A huge thank you goes out to Fiona and Candy for their time and commitment to this task. Special thanks for Fiona, who took the time to write up all the speaking notes for these 14 slides. Once the committee approves this PowerPoint presentation, I will be making like a loop presentation that we can have run automatically, maybe in the library, the Recplex, Salk, those kind of places that they can just run automatically on their own. Obviously, it won't be 14 slides. I'm going to run through the slides with you very quickly. As you can see, this is the new look, I guess. So slide 1, which is what you are looking at right now, is obviously the opening or where we are introducing members if we are presenting. Slide 2, I think I have to do this now. Okay, just a sec. It's not doing anything.
Jeff,
What? No. It's the forward one, right? Oh. Okay. Oh, did I go too far? Okay, there. Okay. So this is slide 2. I'm not going through the presentation, by the way. It would take a lot longer. I'm just trying to run through. Obviously, this is just to show the significance of the older population in Wasaga Beach. They talk about Tiny Township and other things as well in the talking notes. Slide 3. Oh, jeez. Slide 3 explains, how the Wasaga Beach Age-Friendly Committee came into being. Slide 4 explains how we came up with our 18 goals and 66 strategies for the 5 key areas that we have defined for the committee. Slide 5 Slide 5 explains our partnership with the library and with Angela, and how this relationship with the library is a really good fit with the library services because of what the library does for, they have a lot of adult programming and whatever, so it fits really well. So we really want to help the, or push the library partnership there. Slide 6. This one is showing the AFC advocates and supports many of these items from our plan. These are also items that the committee felt that could be worked on and monitored in a simple manner, as opposed to taking a lot of time. Slide 7 explains the relationship between the AFC and Senior Active Living Center. I want to thank Josh for taking the time to update the slide and showing that SALC has many programs and volunteer opportunities that we can all take part in. Slide 8 encourages the community residents to support older adults. With the Neighbor Helping Neighbor program. This is obviously just, a suggested way of living, neighbors helping neighbors kind of thing. I didn't know this, but the Snow Angels Canada is a nationwide registry, and I had no idea about this until I read Fiona's notes. So I thought that was really good, where, people can sign up for the Snow Angels program. Slide 9 simply promotes 211 as an excellent resource for finding programs and services in our community. They actually provided us with the wording for the slide, and this is also the same thing in the brochure. Slide 10 is just showing that we have the flag raising ceremony during Seniors Month, which is June. We mentioned, how Wasaga Beach Transit offers 1 week of free transit during the week of the Expo, during this slide as well. Slide 11 explains the selection of the Senior of the Year Award nominations, and we updated the pictures, so we had Senior of the Year for ever since we started, and hopefully we can continue showing all of them. So I didn't know that we only had 4, but I guess seeing that we started in 2016, I don't know when the first one was given. I guess 2017, and I guess 1 year we didn't have a Senior of the Year, I guess. Anyway, slide 12. This happens to be my favorite slide out of all of them. Yes, we do talk about the Expo and how beneficial it is for the older adults in our area. Slide 13, this is actually what Angela was talking about, the business recognition awards. And this is where we kind of help awareness and advocate for the local businesses to remember the unique needs of our older adults. And it's not just ramps and things like that, but it's products, it's the services, it's customer service, it's the physical environment for people to be able to get around. And I thank Angela for updating this slide for me as well. And the last slide is obviously where we say our thanks, and do you have any suggestions or ideas or whatever, and we hope for an open discussion. And as you can see, I have the new logo there, and I love it. And that is my report.
Thank you, Jeff.
Any questions?
Well done, well done, well done. I love the visuals. Any questions? We've come a long way.
I think it was great.
Any other questions? Committee has done a lot of work. We've come a long way, and a lot of work. You could see through the slides where and the report Fiona put together. You don't realize it as we go through every month in the meetings and the task force. We met on a lot of task force to address a lot of issues, and a lot of stuff has moved forward that I can see in the community, and I'm hoping that more of it will come through the years. And hopefully Jeff will continue the Expo next year. Well done again. Excellent work.
I used to have blonde hair.
No. Any other questions, comments? Okay, so we'll carry on. Let's get a mover for this section. Deb, mover, and seconder, Cecile, seconder. That the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee receive the member roundtable and working group updates for information. All in favor? Carried. 7.3, this item has been deferred to the next meeting. We'll move on to 7.4, age-friendly budget verbal discussion. Angela?
Thank you. Yes, so we had the early bug in our ear about suggesting leftover money for Expo bag purchases. So I was tasked to do some legwork behind the scenes to take on Jeff's proposal and see if that was feasible with the amounts remaining. So I have been asking for some quoting on this from local businesses, and I have confirmed that we are able to keep it under 2,000. So I believe that we're able to meet that accommodation if that's what you choose to do, so you can let me know in a moment. We have some remaining funds, or I should have some remaining funds for further advertising. If you recall last year, I think that was last year, we had 2 ads that went into the Wasaga Sun for the call for nominations, quarter-page ads for Senior of the Year nominations that would happen before the end of this budget year. So I would propose that you consider that, and 2 quarter-page ads would cost up to 400, sorry, 400. So you should have that within your budget this year for us to make that happen if that's what you choose to do. So just looking for direction today on those 2 items.
Angela, how many bags are we talking about for the $2,000?
It would be for 550. So again, it's this bag that we liked the size, I think. That was good, the feedback, that we liked it for brochures, for the expo. It's the color logo again, and it was the same price for 5,000 as 550, so we went with the 550.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Any other questions? Any other items, Angela?
That doesn't have the year on there, does it? Like, so in other words, okay.
I should say as well, I do believe, not sure if you can confirm how many, Jeff, but we did have a few bags left over, so we can supplement the 550 with remaining bags that didn't go out this year. It was, how many was it, Jeff?
Oh, there. I think I have about 40 or 50 left over. I've cleaned them all out. I took all the stuff out and whatever, but I think that we have about 50. I'm just wondering also, can I just ask a question? You say that you local printers. Did we try any of the larger companies like Vista that might be able to offer us a better price?
I believe we have minuted that this committee in the prior term, or maybe it was early this term, preferred to use local. If we can at all use local, that is preferred. So I asked multiple local businesses to quote, and the one that we went with previously was local. So we're happy to continue to support local if at all possible.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, you're done, Angela? Thank you, Angela. Can I get a mover?
You have to read.
Oh, for each one you want to?
You can read it together. 7.1.
But each one you want to move
Read it together.
all together? Wait, don't I get the mover first? Okay, can I get a mover first? Ron mover. And can I get a seconder? Vic. Okay, now I've got work to do. That the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee receives the age-friendly budget verbal discussion update for information, and further that the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee approve up to $2,000 for the purchase of tote bags with the HFCAC logo for the 2023 Seniors Expo, and further that the Age-Friendly Community Advisory Committee approve up to $400 for 2 one-quarter-page ads for advertisement to call for a Senior of the Year nominations. All in favor?
Sorry, I had a question.
Deb?
I don't want to stir the pot. However, are we all sure that we want to have the Seniors Expo again next year, or do we want to have it biannually?
I don't think it's for this committee to make that decision for next year. We have to, I guess, go ahead on what our thoughts are, which are to have an expo next year. If next year, or the new age-friendly committee, I think it's in November that they start, they would make that decision on if they want to do a biannual, or they want to make it a 3-day weekend event, or whatever it is that they do. And, you know, they have 600 bags that they can do what they want with. Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay, so our next meeting will be Wednesday, October 19th, 2022, at 1 to 3 in council chambers. And Fiona should be back. Yes, Jeff?
Just before, I don't know if this is new business or not, I just want to ask a point of order. I'm part of different boards, and usually at the beginning of the meeting, they usually approve the agenda. Is that something that we don't do here? Because, I mean, if I had a problem with the agenda, or I wanted to add something, I wouldn't be able to, there was no time to do that.
Well, I think we have section 2 that, okay, you can speak. Angela's.
So the staff reps send out the agenda in draft to the committee before it goes public, the week before a meeting. So you have the days before to let me know if there's any changes to an agenda drafted, and I can make those corrections prior to them getting posted. And the requirement is that the agenda be posted public on the Monday of a meeting.
Yes, I guess my background has always, you've always had to approve that agenda at an official meeting. So yes, people will send you updates and say, oh, change this, make this different, and then you will put out a final draft of the agenda. But if we came to this meeting, for instance, and I wanted to bring up something about, you know, Seniors Month or something like that at this meeting, then it wouldn't be on the agenda, and therefore we wouldn't be able to necessarily talk about it.
It would be tabled as new business for the next meeting.
I don't see where it says new business. I see where it says items for future meetings.
It could
That's
go
where it
there.
would go there. Oh,
Section 8.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Excuse me, has our next meeting going to impact on the election at all? Like, no, we just keep moving forward, eh?
No, not for the October meeting. October 19th it'll be our last meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Guess we're all done. We'll motion to adjourn the meeting. I need a mover, Candy, and I need a seconder, Deb. All in favor? Carried. Thank you all. I'm getting it.